a very important part of any combat training technique. You're able to monitor weapons. You're able to put yourself in a pretty advantageous position. We like to cover shoots from various positions. First shoot that we concentrate on is we shoot to a bear hug. Again, we're going to keep our head up tight, our knees pinched, and we scoop in and up, in and up. That's the basic position that you want to end up in a bear hug shoot. The next one is we end up with a waist shoot, and yet we still have one leg. We still primarily call this a double leg because we can switch to here. But our hand around the waist, lifting up a knee, and you're just hooking. You're not trying to grab, you're just sort of hooking to make it easier on your grip. The next one is head control to a single. So I might take his head and come around to the side after I've shot in. Take his head, come around to the side. The other one is a low scooping single. And that can be a good technique, especially if you're a good wrestler and you have this technique. You're in your confrontational stance, he gets ready to fire. You scoop to the side, and see, I keep him extended, keep him moving the whole time. Yeah. Now let's cover some of those in more detail. So when I'm going to make a shoot to the bear hug, I want to keep my head up and my hands up. Because if I'm shooting in and he knows and he throws that rear knee, I want to be able to take that on the elbow. I want to give him pressure and still wrap around. As I gut him, my squeeze is with the knees and I'm scooping in and up and driving. And I'm walking over to finish here. So we have different trips in terms of this. With the shoot, we have a lift to throw him down. We have this, we have the big outside step, or we have the big inside trip, and with the inside trip, I'm going to pull the leg back. Anytime we trip, we try to pull the leg back, and until he makes contact with his body, we want to keep that leg elevated. So I'm in here, I've got the trip, and I made contact. Now notice I spread my arms. That is because I don't want to land on my hands clasped. It'll hurt my hands on the street. And now I have more balance with my hands out here in case he decides to roll. So I'm in here, I shoot, I've got the bear hug. I'm here, I'm going to do a back collapse now. Just tilt him to the back. Walk up and get my dominant position. Finishing a takedown, you always want to be in a superior position, able to submit or finish the fight. And keep in mind all the other zoning principles. Making sure you can get out of there, making sure you can monitor weapons, making sure you can use his, he can't use his, all those other things that we covered before. Now, with the double leg takedown, we start to get into the reap, which can be a slam. We get in here, I can step around and block. Or I can just pop my hips in and lift him up. Head control is when you've made a crash. Here I am, stuff's gonna happen, he's getting ready to throw. Here I've got head control, and it's sort of like a duck under. Sort of like a duck under. So I clench, there's that hand, I duck. Here's the leg. Pick it up, I can pop and lift, trip, kick, all those variations. Another way that I get to a lot of singles, guy's gonna be real tough, he's gonna push me with one hand. See, just to parry out of the way. I know it's coming right here. Setups and finishes. He throws a punch. Here I have, I've got head control. I'm just going to come back, take the leg. It was a single leg with head control, sometimes called a knee pick. He throws a big right. Block here, come right down to here. Scoop. Knee control with arm control. Those are some of the various shooting techniques we have. Countering shooting techniques. If he shoots in on a bear hug, I need to prevent him from lifting me. See, I've got my hips back and I've got my knees on the inside of his and spreading his knee. Whether I have one knee contact or both knee, I spread. He's giving me face. His face was not buried. I take him back. Okay? Another variation. He shoots in. He's got his face tight this time, but I've got my knee here. I want to control his hips. See, I control his hips by getting my hips back. It's going to be hard for him to lift me now. It's all about hip control or head control. He shoots in. He's going to get ready to lift me. I got to prevent that. And if I find that I'm going backwards, there's nothing I can do, that's when sacrifice throws come in. People say you shouldn't go to your back, you shouldn't roll. If I'm getting dominated, I'm going to have to do something. He's got me up in the air, he doesn't know what to do. I'm relaxed, I'm feeling heavy. If he gets a good shoot on and he's low and he's driving me, go with the momentum. Sometimes you got to do a sacrifice throw. Once you end up on the ground like that, you immediately have to pay attention to your positioning. You don't want to stay down there. Attacking the head and neck is very effective, and here's some of the more prominent ways you'll see done in combat Sambo. You'll have a lot of neck twisting that'll go on. Say, man, I don't want any trouble. You reach around behind the neck. Remember we talked about the fulcrum. All you really need is your middle finger, and the palm comes underneath the chin and starts the rotation. And just take him down. Pretty simple technique, very effective. Middle finger, it doesn't matter. You don't want to jam the joint. You don't want to give him a blocking mechanism. You want to create a fulcrum here, taking him down. Another way, especially against a taller guy, Brent, can you come out here? Is you're coming in here, you get in deep, you cup around the head, push his head away. See, so I'm in here, I jump, push his head away, and I clasp. I'm going to have my hand just barely past my wrist joint, past his neck. I'm going to clasp top into bottom, and I'm just going to crunch. And my goal is to make his neck turn into an ever-tightening spiral. So I'm here, right here, and I can pretty much dominate the situation. And what you'll see, smaller guys are going to jump up and do that technique. Very effective. The other thing you'll see is from the rear. You'll have different techniques depending on what you want to do, because you'll have just sliding the hand in, turning the head away, and not allowing him to rotate. You're blocking the next two joints down, and then you're stacking him on. Putting my shoulder and stacking him on. Let's watch that again. Coming up from behind. And then of course you have all your rear naked chokes that you've seen before, or just reaching up. And the idea with manipulating the neck is you want to make the neck go in a never tightening spiral. The last one is most people don't know how to use this technique, but they show tons of defenses against it. If you do a side headlock correctly, there is no defense. So, because a lot of times you end up in this position, right? I'm just squeezing the head. What I'm doing is I'm going to make his neck go in an ever tightening spiral. And it's going to be very hard for him to come up with those, reach up in the noon and do all those other counters. So we're here, situation happens. Now, if I really didn't like this guy, and I got him in that ever-tightening spiral, well, I'm going to play Pendleton Roundup and jump out, and his neck will be separated. He'll damage a lot of ligaments, and he may never walk again, so be very careful. But the idea, I'm around here, I want to get his neck going, see, top and the bottom. I want to get his neck up and back down into itself. Very painful lock. Very hard to learn though. I have a hard time getting people to understand that concept. But it's a very effective concept because you tend, in a lot of street fights, end up here. You can do the old hockey thing, or you can do something that's much more effective and more damaging. Okay, let's look at some common attacks that you'll see on the street. I'm going to do it once full speed, trying mixing it up from reactional and confrontational stances. I'm going to take him down, I'm going to get him in a controlling position, and I'm going to scan around, monitoring all his weapons, watching out for everything that's going on. I'm going to show it once fast, we're going to analyze it the next time, and then we're going to do it fast again. Standing here in a reactional stance, he's just going to try and snap me in the throat. Got him tied up, everything, he can't get to his, I've got him pinched up, got his elbow bent, I have a shoulder lock here. I can still spin him around and look around for anybody that's coming around, got it nice and tight. He does it nice and slow. I'm shrugging, see that's what's available to me, a shrug. He makes contact with my chin, he's not knocking me out. Boom, I'm coming under here, I'm making my back step, trying to get him to fall on his head. He knows this technique, so he goes over a little bit. I'm stretching out this arm in case I want to get an extension lock. I don't, I keep it up here. I'm pinching him to get a good shoulder key. It's always important to make sure that the elbow is bent at 90 degrees. I'm locking his neck joint down, and his thoracic spine, and get a nice shoulder key. He can't reach down and get his weapon with that hand. I've got an idea where it is. I can look around for his buddies, and if I need to get the hell out, I step here, push here, and I'm gone. Confrontational stance, jab, okay, slow motion, we're in a confrontational stance, parry the jab and bob into a double, lifting, swinging, taking arms, kneeling, monitoring, didn't get a submission hold that time, but I covered everything. He can't get his weapons. Can't prevent me from exiting the area. Right here. Lock it. Remember, I tuck my head, I'm here, I'm coming up here, and I'm still driving down here. I extend him up, step on him to block the joint. If I need to pivot, look what I'll do. Let go to get out of the area, here I am, I'm gone. Let's take a look at this from the other side. He throws the right, I block, my head's ducked, I keep pressure with my hand and drop him down on that leg. Scooping under, pulling it. I'm extending it, stepping, hitting my leg. Monitoring if he starts to go for a weapon down there. And I can turn and look at my buddies or his buddies and still get a good lock. he's going to throw from a relaxed stance. He's going to chop here and try and throw the other hand. Boom. So some guys, whatever kind of style, they'll do that. Again, I'm just going to try and get off line. See, look, my hips are extended here. I can't lift him. I'm going to trip. Okay? See it again. Tight. I'm a little bit twisted here, right? We don't like that. I push out on the leg. He's going to be weaker that way. Come around. Get in this position. Keep his hands in tight. Get away. Let's go around the other side and see from a different angle. So again, I'm going to do a basic frame, but I'm going to do it as I bob. Can't lift him. I'm going to step and trip. And I extend backwards. Now, if I was a little bit better, I would have immediately kneed down here and tried to come up under him, get his elbows together, exit the area. A little bit better that time. What am I gonna do? Nobody's coming. Finish him off. Confrontational stance. He's going to do a 1-2. Again, I'm off the other side. What if I can't lift him? I've got this knee blocked. I'm going to attack him from there. Every time he goes to his stomach, you must be careful of him worming his hand down to try and get a weapon. So what I like to do is I like to keep a lot of pressure. So when you put a knee on his back, he naturally arches up and prevents him from drawing a weapon there. You can assist that by doing this. Let's see it from the other side. Confrontational stance. In a reactional stance, Dean's going to throw an uppercut, Mexican uppercut south of the border. Nothing like that. So here we're in relaxed stance. A lot of guys will do that. They'll try and cuff you in the balls. You need to, here, it's going to rise up with some force. I'm going to catch it in what I would call a reverse wizard. Cup the elbow, peel the head back, spin him around. See, I'm extending, stretching out that elbow joint. Kneel on his head, keep an eye on this arm, get a submission. Let's see it from the other side. Full speed. Okay, now we're in a confrontational stance. He's going to go left, right, uppercut. Boom, boom. He's going for body, chin, body, chin. Okay? Okay? Boom, boom. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically stray him away from this. See, I just kind of shrugged him aside. I'm here. Big crunch in. Getting up and under him. Okay, I shrug it away. I shoot my arm across his body. Get under it a little more. The big scoop in and stepping and walking over. One of the keys to finishing is something I call straitjacketing. And it involves tying up the guy's limbs as much as you possibly can. You can involve his legs, but his legs don't draw weapons. We like to prevent him from drawing weapons. One of the ways we do this from the ground is with my knees and body pinching. He can't get his arms out. Putting a hand on his body like this, supporting always with the legs. You don't want to get into a situation like you're using all your arms because you're not able to do things yourself. So using the ground is good. See, I've effectively used the ground. Now if I reinforce that with a knee and grab him up here, I got a nice straitjacket there. He's not going to do anything with that hand. If he does extend it down, I've got that other foot. One of the things that you'll see a lot of Russians do when they get the mount is they'll sit up and pinch like this. I call it the Russian mount for lack of a better term, but it's a pinching thing so he's not able to get weapons. This you'll see a lot. One hand. You want to leave a hand so you can go for your own weapon or take care of him and prevent him from doing stuff with his. Using the ground is important. Using your knees are important. Using as little of your manipulatable limbs as possible. It's called straitjacketing. Ken's going to back up and then fire a right cross. And we're both in a reactional stance. What I'm going to do is I'm going to parry it with an elbow, scoop it around, and get an underhook. From the underhook, I'm going to work some technique from there. See, I can go to this. Most smart guys are going to, this is a good lock where you get a lot of knees, but a lot of guys are going to jump in tight. So you jump forward. Yeah, now we're in here. We're in a battle. Okay? So this is where I want to take control of the head. I'm able to drive and walk over him. Again, see, I've got his arm up. I want to pick that up and squeeze him to get him in that straitjacket. If I feel that he gets his arm free to get down there and get that, I can reach back and monitor it. Get it up there. Real important. Squeezing, straitjacketing. See it from the other side. It's tight. That time I control the head. If I can't get the head, I'll back out for here. Backing up. I've got pressure on the shoulder. Now, his hand's already down there. Remember, we knee in the back to get that straitjacket. I want to keep this tucked up here. Pop. Get a submission hold. Now here, I've got him in a different kind of straitjacket. I pinched him up with my legs. Again, I've used his leg to trap his arm, and I've got a good handle. So if he reaches here for a gun, I've got it. Compression injury. Capture the leg, and I've got him pinched up. I want to keep this arm with me. He can't reach for anything. I've got him nice and trapped. He's tapping. Sorry, bud. I have to explain some stuff while I'm here. I want to hit him in the nuts, small ribs. He's pretty well tied up in knots. Straitjacketing is very effective. Good finishing technique if you're not out to kill somebody. Sometimes you're going to face someone from a reactionary stance where they're just going to be so spastic, they're just going to be throwing these little chick strikes, cat's claws, and all that sort of thing. You might meet some guys like that in a bar. I don't know, depending on what bar you go to. So here, I'm kind of tangled up with him. I've got everything trapped. I'm leaning on him. And it's not so much about superior body weight as it is diminishing his biomechanical advantages. Now, if you notice, I have the back of my tricep wrapped around. If I just put a little tiny pressure, he's not going to be too happy. Now, I don't really like him with his hand near his waist, so I would probably step that out and try and come up a little bit like that. Just so he can't get a grip on a gun or something like that. Let's see it from the other side. So I feel him, I felt with my ankle, his hand going down to his waist. I immediately changed my position. I've got my ankle tight against his wrist just to make sure he's not getting anything. Keep an eye, take the head away, take his arm. Tap. What? Tap. Thank you. So here's how it does in slow motion. He's starting to claw. See, it's just a variation. I'm here. I want to cup on the kneecap as I push back down. However he lands is however I react. I want to try and straightjacket him. I've got him nice and tight. See it again from the other side. Cupping at the kneecap, where you're coming in under the knee. Trying to body slam him. Come down, trying for your straitjackets. Trying for your submission holds. It's actually a chokehold on that one. A lot of these guys who study these high-speed modern arts that are compilation, taking the best from everything and absorbing what is useful, will try this eye poke. It's real important from a reactionary standpoint that you get something up there. I'm wrapping, cupping. I'm just going to plant my elbow on top of his shoulder and walk. Now, keeping it extended, I have an elbow lock. I want to step on this arm. Tap! See it again. Faster. Tap! On the other side, nice and slow. See? Do it from a reactionary standpoint. Act like you normally would. Wrap, cup the elbow. You're going to elbow on top of the shoulder and walk. Keeping it extended, leaning into it, stepping over. Tap. Tap. Okay, Ken's going to throw a big stomping kick with his rear leg. So we're in a confrontational stance. I'm here, pretty easy from now. Here. I'm probably going to go from here to a lock. And what I'll do here is come and get his head up. Much more uncomfortable. See, he's trying to stop me. I've got his hands. He can't get anywhere with his hand. I've got him nice and tight. Whack, whack. Stomp kick. See, I immediately put his head, wrap. That hand goes down there. I got it. Bam. See, I'm straight jacketing. One arm, I've got his whole body tied up. Whack. See it from the other side. Nice and slow. So, here. From here I can do all kinds of things, but I'm just going to step in, sweep him back. And I'm going to try and come under his head. Wrap around. Thai boxers, I don't care if they're fast, they're going to do this. They're going to step forward. Step forward to fire all the guns. Well, as soon as I see him step forward, I'm going to stop that kick before it gets there. Whether I do it with my foot or my knee, catching him on soft tissue. Okay? From there, I'm coming in here, stunning, top into bottom, stepping around behind. And I'm keeping his neck tight. Keeping that hand monitored. Do it from the other side. Attack. I prefer to go shoving my top hand into my bottom hand as I take him down, and I'm making a big circle step this way. But I keep his neck twisted. I see him coming down here. Nope. Full speed. We're going to go against a defense against a side kick of the Japanese style, which is basically a roundhouse kick with a heel. We're in a confrontational stance. He's going to throw it. I parry him here, right? I'm going to take and push him forward as I drive through, trying to drive him on his head. I'm going to keep this leg and keep him pinned. I'm going to keep that leg pinned as I walk up. That way I've got his hips monitored. I can get out of the way, or I can scan the area. Let's do it from the other side. We're here. I parry, I step in, push. Keep this, right? Coming around to the side, I kneel. Cup it into the inside and press. Do it from the other side. Boom. Keep this. As I stack him up on it, I'm going to slide my knee around, cup it. Here I am in a common or resting hold, sometimes called a gooseneck. Now, Dean really wouldn't violate the principles of an effective lock. He would control the next two joints down. Right now, he's basically just got the elbow joint taken care of, but he's forgotten the shoulder. He's got a good lock on here with the hands and the fingers, but what I have to do is I have to go to the next joint that he doesn't have control on, and that's my shoulder. So we're in here, he's walking me along. I'm just going to pop up like this. And there I have my standing lock. Crossing over, pinching. Nice little gooseneck. He has the hands. I'm gonna walk with him as he walks with me, and I'm just gonna pop, come around behind, scoop, wrap the ankle, step across, keep a hold of this hand, submit. Is that the bad one? Have him do this hand. Well, he likes it better on this side. It's a little tighter. Or maybe he doesn't like it. Here I am, I'm walking along. I pop, step across, lift, step across here, hit a nice lock. Okay, Bret's got me in ulnar press. He's got good control of the distal joint. He's got good control of the primary joint, but he doesn't have a good control of my shoulder because you can see movement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of this joint lock using my shoulder. I'm popping and rolling. I'm stepping in deep behind and taking the leg. Again, I end up with an ankle lock. I can either wrap here or just grab onto my Kirka. or I don't even have to do that. I'm stepping over, stepping on his hand, getting the submission. Let's do it from the other side. Here he has the elbow press, doesn't have good control of my shoulder. I roll and step behind, take the leg, step across, get the submission. This is an ugly situation to be in, and if you have any skill whatsoever, you shouldn't end up in this position. However, the same fact remains, you want to prevent yourself from being lifted. So either you get your knees on the inside of his, or you get one in, and you want to keep his hips out and keep your hips back. From here, see how he's got a round back posture? He's not going to be able to lift me, okay? And now I've got to sink even further and get into a position of power where I can take him down. So I'm going to elevate this, and I'm going to step and lock. Switch around the other side. So here he has me. I need to get a knee in deep and block his hand here. I really don't have a good groin strike, but he doesn't have lifting capabilities. He's spread out enough so he can't step and trip me. Okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to get down and get my arms up. I'm going to post the far knee, and I'm going to drive that way. Take the leg, step over, submit. Here's a more common situation you'll end up in. Front bear hug, he doesn't have your arms. If he's smart, he'll keep his head tight so I can't get him, but I still want to attack the head. Notice how I've got his knees spread apart so he can't get in deep and get a good lift. I'm just pushing at the nose. Slide around. See, I just take and mash up the nose and push it back down on his head. Easy to counter that. Now, if he has his head planted in to the center and deep and up like that, which would be a more proper one, this is going to be harder for me to get my hips back because with my neck in extension, it's going to be hard to get my hips back. But I have to get a nice deep stance. From here, as he drives to try and step, I'm going to turn my body, take it out, get that elbow lock going. Again, from this side, see, he's got it nice, and this is a pretty good way of doing it. If he popped in and decided to lock and drive, it would be a good takedown. But I got the knee spread out, and he's driving in. I kept a hold of the arm after I cranked him around. I can do a number of locks here. I can do a figure four, or I can let it bend, step over the head, do a shoulder lock. Let's slide around so people can see that. I've got this figure four. It bends. I step over the head, and I have that. Or I can step over with it trapped here and just tighten it in. See, I'm blocking the elbow joint and using my body, pivoting around my body and locking him up. One more time from this side. Get his head very deep, he's driving me forward. I block the knee, keep the arm. I have to react to what he does now. If he bends his arm really quickly, I'm going to go right to here. Now, for a guy who attacks from the front, who's in more of a shoot position. So he's shooting, I want to try and stuff a hip onto him. Okay, so shoot. See, I sink down on him. Always controlling the head. If he's still driving, I do a reaping throw. Remember the inside reaping throw that we learned up here? It can be applied when a guy is shooting. So I sink my hips toward him, he's still driving. I can complete that. Then I finish the attack. If he shoots really low and I drive his head down, that doesn't matter. See, I'm going to attack him here. He has no base from which to work. So shoot low again. See, I give him a hip. I give him a hip. And I'm blocking. If he keeps his head up, if his head's up, I'm going to take his head up like that and finish him that way. Now for a high shoot, yeah, just like that. I have to, again, block, get my hips up and sink down. Drive. See, I'm turning him. Now if he had jeans on, I could still get a good belt hold. High shoot, he drives. Let's do it from the other side. Stay right there. High shoot. Pretty simple method of countering, giving him a hip, let him give you the momentum, and turn your body. Okay, from the rear, without the arms. Again, you have to prevent yourself from being lifted. You do that by sinking and relaxing, okay? Another way is hooking a leg. So he starts to lift. If I hook a leg, it's going to be hard for him to take me down. From there, I can just collapse. I disrupted his balance and riding reflexes, therefore he's going to let go. Now, he's going to try and lift. I counter like this. All right? If he steps out like that, now I've got to sink my hips and take a hand. Sink the hips and take a hand. I'm balanced here. I can try and escape. As I escape, though, I want to fire an elbow. Tries to lift, he steps around, I sink, create an opening, fire an elbow. If he shoots from that elbow because he's stunned, I can offer a leg and drive him down again. If he is really big and strong and he's driving me forward and he steps to trip, I'm going to hook this arm and elevate my leg and go with that momentum. Right? Yep. From here, I have to elbow, and get back into a better ground position where I can monitor. Because if I stay right here, I've got him cranked, he just takes out his clip it, and my neck is out of here. See that again from this side? You all right? Yeah. So he's taking me, he's driving me forward. Boom, boom. I gotta monitor that arm. He's got that clip in his hand. He's got my arms. It's going to be tough for him to lift me up. Lift me up from here. It's tougher for him to lift me up that way. Lift. Okay, from now, I have to get in my squatting position of power. And I've got to do what I call an airplane. So I'm going to squat and airplane out. Get behind him. Either just take a single leg because he's a lot heavy, can't be lifted, or lift him up and slam him down. So the airplane, we're here, we block the lift, we scoop, okay? Watch it again. He lifts, I block, I scoop. Airplane, sometimes you just come right out and attack from there, but being a grappling style, we come back in. If I don't lift, I just keep sitting. Attack. This way. Let's do it from the other side. He's around my hands. This is a dumb position to be in. I block, I drop, position of power, boom. I only got one leg, I turn, and then I continue to attack. Thank you. We're going to see how we can counter a side headlock, especially if someone does it correctly. Remember what I demonstrated to you is that we have a headlock, we're lifting it up and back down into him. D knows how to do that, but there's a counter for that. So he's lifting it up, he's coming back down, all right? I want to prevent him from sitting out and damaging my neck. I'm going to post here, okay? So start your motion. I'm posting here, and I'm looking into him and collapsing. See how I broke his balance? I have to watch that leg. He's a little bit more trained than the average guy, so he's thinking about
attacking when he's being taken down. So I block the leg and I collapse it down.
See it from the other side.
He's doing it, I block the leg and I collapse it down. From there I would go and attack. One more time. He's going to be lifting my head up and sending it back down. I want to prevent him from launching his body out so he destroys my neck. So I'm here. With a normal side headlock, like if a guy's going to do the old hockey punching stuff, yeah, you want to block it here. I like to collapse. So what I'll do is I'll step here and knee until it collapses. I can take him down. Again, knee till I get him into a position where I can take him out. See it again from the same side. He's here, he's getting ready to punch. All right, I'm going to step and knee and collapse. He reacts pretty quickly with that, and I get on top. Okay? The other side. See, I'm going to block. I'm going to step here, knee. It's going to make him lose balance, the righting reflex. He's going to let go. I'm going to get on top, get under him. If I can attack that third cervical vertebra, it'll be all over for him. That's how we deal with a normal side headlock with someone trying to punch you. Okay, I had a bad shot. I'm coming in, he's got the front headlock. Immediately I have to prevent him from choking me out. So I reach with the same side arm that he does and grab a hold of his wrist. Okay? There I would step back. I want to get my hand around his head. Okay, I've got my hand around his head, right here like that. And now I'm going to be prying on this arm as I step up, back, and around. To try and take him down, I've got my hand and head up. Okay? From the other side. I made a bad shot, get a front headlock, I block that immediately and come up. Okay? I'm going to get around, my arm on the head, and now I'm just going to take a step. Okay? Come around. When it's done right, I end up with a nice little neck crank. See that again? Maybe if you, from this side. Good. I grab the same side. Okay, I shot in, he blocked. I blocked his hands. I'm going to step outside. And now I'm going to take a big step back with this foot and turn. Okay? I should be up and tight on him, cranking his head, trying to get straight jackets. From this side. Block. Right? Get my hand up around his head from here. Right? I come around his head. I make a big step up and around. Trap it with my body. Take his groin out. One of the ways to get out of it. There's another way that we've seen. Can I have somebody else out here? To get a front headlock on. I block. Get my arm over the head. I'm going to get my chin down in between so he can't choke. Boom. Let's do it from the other side. Get a front choke. Right? I reach over to the top. I get my chin between his hand and my throat. I'm going to come in high on the groin. Slam him down. Finish him up. That's an alternative way, more dynamic body slamming way. So here I am, I'm going to counter a double lapel grab. Normally what's going to happen is he's going to pull me in and headbutt me. So he pulls in, get ready to headbutt. I just get a blocking here. See, I'm just sticking my arm up here. He pulls in to headbutt, boom. He's not feeling too good. I'm pushing in with my palm on his elbow and cupping the other one. Okay? And shifting. See, I shift, I'm going to step deep. Boom. Nice little lock. Let's do it again. Pulls the headbutt. He's stunned a little bit by that because I know what's happening. Boom, boom. In, up, step across. But when I step across, I want to pop down. Potential of separating knee ligaments, slamming him on his head. We got a nice lock. See it from the other side. Grab and headbutt. Boom. Push, push. Step across. Pop. That's one way to get out of a double lapel. Let's show another way. Dean's going to charge me, trying to get me like that. Okay? Yeah, just like that. I'm going to use his energy again. It's going to be the same basic blocking throw. Again, I'm blocking, so he can't do it. Okay? I'm going to step around this way, come up under him. Okay? Okay, let's slide around to the camera, see how I ended up that way. I'm doing a shin throat pinch. Nice little variation on the same lock. This side. So he's reaching up, he's taking me. What I'm doing is coming down on his bicep forearm junction, pushing my other hand in here, stepping and blocking. Okay? Stepping around, pinching his head. Hey, can we wheel around this way? Wheeling his head, nice throat pinch. If I see him reach down there for a gun, got it trapped, trapped. He's going to pull and hit, see? That's what I'm worried about. It's pulling and hitting. Very devastating. Boom. As soon as I see him reel back, I'm underneath it. Keep him pinched. Got him tight. He goes to reach for a weapon with that other hand. I've got my whole body. Even if I decide I want to get out of the AO, I get rid of the weapon. He's in pain. I'm out of here. Let's see it from this side. Keep it across the body. Another variation, just pinch. That's one way to get out of a pull and hit. He's going to have me in a typical hammerlock. I'm going to be down here. Okay, what I need to do is this is basically a shoulder lock. I need to pivot around my spine to change this. So he's going to be cranking this. I'm going to come up. I pivoted around my spine, got a good base of power, position of power, squatted in, and take him down. So how I got up in here, I don't know. He's cranking. I'm going to put downward pressure on this. Downward pressure, just to fight him a little bit. He's going to try and crank up more. That's going to give me position to do that. I'm going to take him down. If I were a meanie, I could do a pile driver by just sitting down. We're not going to do it that way. Show it from the other side. Do this one. Oh, this one hurts just as much. So I fight a little. He cranks more. I pop under. Take him down. Finish up. Straight jacketing and hitting. That's one way to get out of a hammerlock. Get in a position of power after you rotate down to the next joint. Okay, so I wasn't paying attention. Someone came up from behind me, got me in a double chicken wing. Now, I don't really want to get punched. Again, I still have rotational control over him. He doesn't realize that. Pushing at the hip and spinning my body into somebody. So if someone's going to, come on here, Dean, So if you're gonna kick or punch, I've spun you into that. Now, he takes a blow, I'm gonna drop into a position of power, airplane. I've taken him out and I'm still able to monitor where you're at. Let's do that again. Guy's got me in a chicken wing. I see Dean coming. Boom, he reacts. I get drop down position of power. Airplane, take the head. I'm able to watch him. Step on this hand. See it again from the other side. Boom, position of power, airplane. Come up in a different position. Doesn't matter, I'll take the head. Key points on that, I was able to move up, push on a move point, get to a position of power, airplane out, take his head up, finish up that move. Double chicken wing counter with 2 people. I'm gonna counter a push. A lot of guys will start things, they'll start with just a weak side push or a jab side push. I'm gonna shrug, roll, come into an underhook. He doesn't like this, so he's gonna bend his arm. Yeah, he's gonna try and force up. What I'm gonna do is just spin. Now I have a nice tight shoulder lock. Let's do that again. Shrug, under, got this, he powers up, elbows under his chin, and spin. Tight on the elbow. Control the head. Let's do it on the other side. I've got him here, he's powering up, elbow under the chin as I spin. Got it trapped against my head. He bends the arm. I take it back the other way. We're gonna do a double arm push. Guy, a lot of fights start that way. Here's some possible things you can do. See? I like to do that, run him into the Midnight Express. Boom, bear hug. See how tight under his chin so he can't get good head control? I wrap in and squeeze. Stepping down, kneeling. Pound him out. Headbutt, big bear squeeze. Let him drop, stomp, pound him out. Key point. See, I'm headbutting him with the top of my head. I'm keeping my head there, top into bottom, rotating in and up. Doesn't take much to take him back. That's one way to deal with a push. I'm going to show one other way to deal with a push. Blocked him here, I'm going to come back, do a high crotch takedown. From here, I'm going to try and keep this tight against here as I step over. Okay? This is kind of a painful one. See, I've blocked his, the only thing I'm not monitoring is this side here, so I want to get this lock quick, keep my hand down here. Goes to push, I'm basically going to do a shrug and pass. High crotch takedown, I'm in deep here, I take my other hand, up, get that leg up. Get it tight against my head, and I'm going to spin. Grab at the top of his foot with my hand. Let's do it from the other side. High crotch, could have been a strike. Boom, reach up, grab it, step over, grab this hand, and we have it.
A hair grab is common when people are getting ready to hold and hit you or snap you back from behind. Let's look at what we do when someone grabs us by the hair in front. Okay? He grabs my head. I'm going to distract him this way, and now I'm coming around the head. I've got a nice balance here. I'm going to do that kick out reap. Boom. I have it. I'm going to kneel on his neck to gain control. I've got a nice little wrist lock working here. I'm going to keep that wrist lock. If he goes to reach for a weapon there, I'm able to deal with it by taking a pinky and bending it back. And I got a lot of pressure on his neck. Pretty much going to choke him out. Okay? Yes, sir. Let's do it real quick. When someone comes up behind you and grabs you by the hair, they're trying to pull you back down. Your immediate reaction has to be to counter that. You don't resist the force, it's too hard to do. I'm going to go back, down, and around. See? Okay, let's do that a little slower. Analyze exactly what we did. He grabs my hair. He's already got it there. So what I'm doing, I'm going back, down and around. I've got him here. I'm going to do a far leg reap. Got him down. I've got this one arm, the straight jacket. If I kneel right on it, control his head, hit him in the groin, take him out by the head. Let's do it again at combat speed. Here's why anytime you meet somebody who does Sambo, you want to be cautious every time that you shake their hand. Let's do that nice and slow. Shake hand, don't take a full handshake. Push on the elbow, prop your elbow on your own wrist. You've got a nice lock there, pretty reinforced, there's no way he can fight it. Step around the side to gain more control. You can go and follow up with all the rest of your basic zoning principles, submission holds. Don't shake hands with a Sambo guy. With the disuse of the samurai sword, we thought we saw the end to knee-to-knee training and drilling. With the Japanese, we had a lot of this. And now with another system of jiu-jitsu, we have a lot of this stuff, thinking it's combat reality. Generally on the street, you don't ever want to end up here or stay here, because your mobility is definitely defeated. But there are better ways to do things other than jumping into guard from here. In sportive technique, that might be fine, but you don't want to jump into the guard from knee to knee. The idea is when you come down here, you want to immediately assume head control. The same balance and righting reflexes apply on your knees as they do when you're standing. So we're in here and we've somehow come up to this position. I want to get under his head and still monitor his weapons, but I want to drive now. I'm up, preventing him from doing things. You just use my total body against him. Okay? So I'm here, we're working. I'm here. Grab a hold somewhere. It doesn't matter if it's on the scapula or on the back, but I got my shoulder on, and I'm driving and twisting. You okay? Driving and twisting. That's one way. So this guy's a little smarter. He knows I'm going to drive and twist. Well, I'm going to pass down and get his head down. He knows I'm going to drive. He drops his head lower.
And I'm going to keep control of his head so I can do some other things. Another way that you can have effective technique, if a guy's up like this and you're standing there like that and you're kind of playing the arm game, arm drag. There are 3 arm drags that we do from this position. One is where he reaches up, I circle down and around, hook, pull him to the side. The other one is I just grab his wrist, pull it across, drag it, and there I am. And the third one is that when he grabs my wrist, I pull it across my body and drag it. Another thing that's effective is when you're grappling in here is elbow control. Remember, it's a push point, hook on the head, pulling deep near his ear, you can get him to rotate. Push point, pull and rotate point, and get better control. Those are just some of the basic things you can do if you do happen to end up on your knees facing your opponent who also is on his knees.